Things that I learned in the RLA are things that I wasn't aware of, and I never thought that I could make changes in our community. So with all this information that I gather at the Resident Leadership Academy, it made me realize that it's possible that me and a group of citizens can actually go to the city, talk to them, and work on how to get a project from like the planning and looking at pedestrian plans and master plans, and collaborating with the city and with officials to actually get the plan going.
What I took away from the Train the Trainer workshops were the network that you build over time during the training, and then you gain a network of folks who are going to support and who are doing similar work. So you know who you can call on, who might be going through the same challenges as you, and get feedback and best practices on.
The RLA really teaches people how to be leaders and get their hands dirty, and also help support and create new leaders. So I really think it focuses on the true meaning of leadership.
I definitely would recommend this training to anybody, even my folks. We just need to be aware of what's going on and how that affects our health in the long run. It gives me a sense of empowerment, and I can pass that on to the neighborhoods around me, to my friends, to my colleagues, to my coworkers. It's powerful information. It's very simple things, but what becomes from that, you know, it's huge.
My name is Loreto Uriart. I am from Chula Vista, and I'm with the Resident Leadership Academy. I took the RLA myself, so I think the RLA gives citizens all the tools necessary to make changes in the community. So I think it's important that everyone gets this information. I love it. I think it's wonderful getting to know different community leaders from different places. It's a great experience, and then you learn from everyone. I like the trainers. They were really nice. I like the group. I think the energy was really great. We all felt very comfortable. We all felt welcomed, and I felt that we were open to share whatever concerns we had and talk about our different concerns in our different communities, so different opinions from everyone. For me, the most important thing was the CIP, the implementation, and how everyone has a role. So how everyone gets to actually work together in the community, and everyone in the RLA group gets to either be taking pictures or doing the presentation, or actually presenting, contacting city officials, or contacting other people. So I think roles and responsibilities and the action plan, that was one of the main tools that I got from the Train the Trainer. This is definitely something that every community needs. If we have involved citizens, then people are going to take action. So once you have the tools to take action, I think it gives you the confidence to actually go in and take action. I liked that we have a hands-on, like the last class, we get to actually practice, and it's not just a session that you just learn, but you never know how to give that presentation. So the hands-on I really appreciate.
My name is Enrique Plasencia. I work for Community Housing Works, affordable housing organization, nonprofit, has properties throughout California. And I am interested in replicating the RLA program in my community, which is National City, because this year we're focusing on resident leadership, moving a little bit more into resident-driven activities and engagement. Well, this experience has been it's been amazing. First of all, the instructors, I could see the passion, I could feel the passion that you guys are instilling in us, and it just gives me the courage, and it gives me the ability to go and provide the same services to the residents that I serve in National City. It's also made me aware of a lot of the surroundings and the environment and the community outside of my property in National City. And I want to make sure that our residents in National City are aware of the information that you can get from where you live, whether it's life expectancy, whether it's, are they aware that we have access to transportation nearby? Are they aware that the fact that we have no sidewalks are health hazards? It's very important to do these RLA trainings throughout the county of San Diego, just to make residents better aware of what's really going on. You know, our daily lives, we get lost in our family, in our work, in our daily activities. And we really don't pay attention to what's really going on around us, which is a little bit more important, and it'll help us live a little better. The thing I like the most about this Train the Trainer experience is the knowledge that I take back home. You know, I'm looking to see, why don't we have sidewalks where I live? I'm looking to see why was the neighborhood strongly advocating for open space behind my backyard. If we don't have the sidewalks, we'll give us a green space so we can walk around and do and take our kids on the bikes and hike, things of that sort. Walk our pets. But that's the most important thing that I've gotten out of this RLA training. Just the fact that I'm a little bit more aware of what's going on in my community, things that I wasn't aware of and didn't take into consideration when I was choosing the home where I wanted my family to be raised in. I definitely would recommend this training to anybody, even my folks. We just need to be aware of what's going on and how that affects our health in the long run. It gives me a sense of empowerment, and I can pass that on to the neighborhoods around me, to my friends, to my colleagues, to my coworkers. It's powerful information. It's very simple things, but what becomes from that, you know, it's huge. You know, you can change lifestyles, you can change behaviors, you can change the quality of air, you can change just the fact that you could advocate and you can make a difference, and not just sit down and be comfortable with what's going on around you. I want to make sure that people know that it only takes you to have the courage and the information and feel empowered that you can build communities instead of just move into a community. That you can change things around you and make you live a little bit better lives, the places where you could grow old in.
My name is Imani Robinson, and my target community is Mountain View Recreational Center mainly, and definitely the surrounding area. So I wanted to get with the Academy to make an impact in my community. I learned a lot. Every session just added and compounded each session together. Even when I first came in, I really wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. And even the second session, I would say I was even confused. But by the end of second session, I really saw how I can implement a lot of the material that I was learning and how it would benefit my community. I think a lot of people think leaderships are titles, and the RLA really teaches people how to be leaders and get their hands dirty, and also help support and create new leaders. So I really think it focuses on the true meaning of leadership. Going through all of the information and realizing how it affects the community's health and how we interact in our own community because of not having access to proper food, not having proper walkways, even not having beautiful environments to enjoy, and being able to actually see the problems and finding solutions. I really got excited about implementation. The stories really hit home, people having, actually experiencing success and failures. So learning from the failures of what not to do, which is really important, and also what to do that really works. I would definitely recommend this. I even have some people that we're peers in the community, and we're kind of suffering the same way, not being as effective as we would like to be. And this definitely gives a person with passion for their community tools to really make changes. A lot of times things are just book information, it's more theory, but this was really practical.
I'm Herminia Ledesma. I work for Vista Community Clinic, and I serve North County, San Diego, primarily Vista and Oceanside. I got the pleasure to work with VCC, and from the beginning, VCC has had a long-term commitment in the community, facilitating another group called Poder Popular, and all of our Poder Popular leaders are promotoras, if you will, leaders in the community who we thought an RLA would be a good fit for. So that's where kind of the story started. And then VCC has been able to replicate many RLAs, even outside of our Poder Popular group. I got to participate in the Train the Trainer about 5 years ago, and I think it was just a really neat experience. It was an intimate group where we really got to brainstorm with one another about really hardy topics and how you break that information down and deliver it to the community. I think one of the biggest and most impactful things about the RLA is that it gives kind of the why and the how to a lot of things. So for example, earlier I named our Poder Popular Líderes. They've always been doing work in the community, but RLA gave them that really strong background and give them insight into how the city works and really help them facilitate conversations about systems level change rather than topics like health education, which are more individual and behavioral changes that they've been working on for a long time. So this allowed them to increase their capacity for the tenfold, and I think replicating this all over only serves as an incredible tool to San Diego County because we can see communities learning how to advocate for themselves. What I took away from the Train the Trainer workshops were the network that you build over time during the training, and then you gain a network of folks who are going to support and who are doing similar work. So you know who you can call on, who might be going through the same challenges as you, and get feedback and best practices on that. One of the things that I found most useful that we were able to build in when we were delivering our RLA curriculum is bringing in folks from the outside. So bringing in guest speakers who can really speak on topics in a different way. So in our one of our examples is we brought Circulate San Diego to talk about pedestrian safety during when we were hosting an RLA. Part of the RLA family for over 5 years, like I mentioned earlier, and I think in those 5 years I've definitely learned a lot, and recently I've been able to see some of our biggest accomplishments as a group, as a team effort, definitely not an individual effort, but one of the things is that the efforts do take time. And so, you know, like I mentioned earlier, VCC was committed to a group, and that's still the case, and our RLAs have now become a way for us to recruit more people into our group and really keep the efforts going. And it's no coincidence that we've kind of kept at it and we're seeing amazing results now. I think the biggest difference is that this really keeps the work at the heart of the community, and I think a lot of other similar type efforts really look at systems like land use or infrastructure and really don't take the time to see or identify the ways community fits in, but this curriculum pulls it out for us and really creates points of engagement and points of opportunity for how people can be involved and create changes in these very intimidating, because that's how I went into it thinking, very intimidating kind of policy and advocacy work, and now really it's building a network and knowing what doors to knock on so that we can bring change to the community.